In this video, I really want to show you two complementary indicators, and that's the trends indicator, which are these little dots here on the chart itself, and the one below, this solid bar here, the trend monitor. Because whilst you can use them in isolation, of course, they work brilliantly as a combination, which is why we always recommend that you have the two of them together. It's not designed to sell you another indicator. It's just simply the way we design them. And what the trend monitor is particularly designed for in combination with the trends is to help you with one of the hardest things in trading, which is to stay in a trend once it's underway. Because inevitably, we all suffer it. The trend starts, we get some decent profit in the bank. It then starts to reverse against us, we're fearful, and we close out. And we end up with essentially small profits, a fewer of them, and probably more smaller losses, and the trading account doesn't go forward, maybe stagnate, maybe slides backwards a little bit. But that's basically the problem with all trading. It doesn't matter what you're trading, what instrument, what market. It's universal to trading. And you have to find a way of managing that fear when the pauses and the pullbacks and reversals occur in a position that you've got in the market, which is already in profit. And that's what these indicators were designed to do. That's what they developed for. And the reason they work so well is because the trend dots, the trends indicator, work very close to the market, whereas the trend monitor itself takes a more considered view of the market. In other words, a slower term approach. If we just look at this phase of price action here, this is on the NQ on 3 minute. We've had this bearish phase. You can see here where the trend started to pause a bit and perhaps was going to reverse back to bullish again. The trend monitor is basically considering that. It goes to a darker blue, but it never got into bright blue. It just simply transitioned through to a slice of dark blue, but then came out the other side and re-established the bearish trend. The trend dots, on the other hand, are flattening off here and just starting to push upwards a little bit. And that's really how they work. You can see it again here. If you look at this phase here, we've got the trend dots moving lower, then they start to curl up. And the other thing with the trends indicator, when it's in bearish trend, they're obviously above, they're pressing down on the price action, if you like. When the phase turns and starts to reverse, they move through the candle body and then to the underside and start to push up again. You can see they move into the body here and they start to push up again. Now, what's also interesting, you'll see at this point here, the trend dots are already bright blue. They've been going bright blue for 3 or 4 occasions now on this particular time frame, and yet the trend monitor is only just starting to confirm that. And that's the power of using both of them together, because these will signal the change first, very close to the price action. This will take a more considered view, and then ultimately, if it believes that this is a true change in trend, it will then go through the color phases. Now, typically, it's bright red into dark red, out to dark blue, and out the other side is bright blue. Not always. As you can see on this occasion, it's actually skipped one phase. It's skipped the dark red phase, then gone straight through into bright blue out the other side. But that is the power of using these two indicators in combination. Got this little piece of price action up here. We get to the top. The trends starts to roll over, goes into the body, comes out the other side, starts to press down a little bit, pushing down, pushing down. We seem to be in a bearish phase of price action now, and we've come through that. So we've come through the bullish phase, we've had a transitional color, and we moved into a bearish phase of price action. Now, the nice thing with the trends indicator is that you can actually move it off the chart itself. Now, if I click on the settings here, what you'll see is this is set to absolute, which means it will sit on the candles. But if you want to move it off, you can click it above. So now you can see it more clearly, what the color changes are. You can move it below, exactly the same way, or indeed you can put it at the top, which is a very clear way of looking at what is going on, or you can put it at the bottom as well. So if you don't want it on the candles, you can take that approach, and then you've got essentially what you have is you then have the two indicators as arranged here, side by side. What you don't see is obviously the impact of the trends as they move, as I showed you just now, as they move through the body of the candle. In the uptrend, they'll be to the downside, and in the downtrend, they'll be to the upside. But in terms of color shifts and color changes, you will see the two of them aligned like that. It's quite a neat way of doing it. So I wanted to record this video really to show you these two indicators in action. Now the trend monitor also comes with a third indicator, which is this. So if I just pull this up a little bit, you can see it more clearly. And this is basically the trend line, which again gives you a perspective on how far the trend strength is moving away from this fulcrum in the midpoint here. In other words, the strength of the trend, and when possibly it's getting to an extreme, getting to a particular pause point and possibly reversing, going back through the median line of the indicator and on upwards. That comes with the trend monitor, so it's actually two indicators in one, if you will. So actually, in fact, you're looking at three indicators. And of course, on the bottom here, we've got the tick volume, which we always have on our charts because we use volume in every market we trade, whether we're trading spot forex, whether we're trading futures contracts here, whether we're trading stocks, whatever it is, the volume price analysis methodology applies to everything. So I hope you've enjoyed that particular video. Lots more to come. So thanks very much indeed for watching. See you soon, and bye for now.